Welcome to the Andrew Biberman Experience. We are actually having some technical difficulties. This has never happened before. A couple days ago, my iPad broke. It didn't exactly break, drop, shatter. It may have to do with it falling off a barbecue while my brother and I were practicing boxing, and he goes up to check the camera, and it just falls off. Ever since, been having some issues. It glitches off every 10 minutes, shuts, goes back to the Apple screen, restarts. A bit of a problem, but I've gotten used to it, and I'm not letting it bother me now. So we're going back to the old days of just reading notes out of notebooks, which is like middle school for me. Ever since I got to high school, we switched right away. So this is a very special episode of the experience. On my podcast, we've just been talking about life and things like that. But I decided let's helmet more towards things that we can talk about. I think often the topic will be media. This is a very special episode. This is going to be episode 12 right here. So we're just going to mark that down. But usually we'll be talking about media and talking about podcasts and movies, mainly television, pop culture. That's a big part of what I like talking about. When I speak to you guys, I love to just talk about pop culture. So to keep it real, every other experience from now on, there will be interviews, there will be fun discussions and guests, but we're going to mainly focus it on movies. So starting with this post, we're going to start doing reviews, and I'm going to just do an analysis of some of the James Bond films now, because I have a couple of the volumes with me, and we're also going to just talk about movies I saw and studio temples and all that. But that's really just going to be the discussion of the podcast, just movies, and it'll help keep it going. Okay, so let's start with every James Bond volume I just ordered, which is something I wanted to show off to you guys. I have volume 1 here. However, there is a flaw with it. They gave me 3 DVDs that were the same. So I had 3 copies of the same DVD. So I removed them and I brought them to my basement, because why would you want 3 of the same movies in total? So I just removed them. And as you can see, I got just Thunderball, Goldfinger, License to Kill, and Tomorrow Never Dies. Plus, this is really cool, a Sweepstakes. I think this is from 2000. The other box had a Sweepstakes to win a bunch of prizes. I'll show you that in a minute. Hey, but this is really cool. I think I even showed this in another video. I just want to go out of the way and show you how cool these old DVDs are. This is the past, man. This is all in the past. It's interesting because physical media is now all history. If you think about movie theaters going out due to COVID-19, I could see them making a big resurgence. We're jumping the shark here in discussion, but I think that movie theaters could come back. However, there is such a point to streaming being more relevant and DVDs and Blu-rays being less relevant. It's makes sense that there are people out there who might still have DVDs or Blu-ray players. Think about senior citizens who are familiar with that mode of watching a film. I'm just charging something. Seniors are familiar with, filming on Blu-rays and stuff. I mean, they're just used to DVDs and VHSs, and now you even have machines that can copy from VHSs to discs, and you can transfer it and wire it over. So that's cool. And one of the cooler things is one of these volumes, actually, they came originally in a VCR format. So what's here, you could actually fit a whole VHS tape there, and now you could fit 3 DVDs, and now you could probably fit 4 Blu-rays. It'll just keep getting smaller. They even have the 4K, which is a really interesting brand. I don't have any 4K TV. All right, I plugged it in. Okay, so I showed off box 1. We're gonna show off box 2, and also for each episode, it's just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep doing reviews every time. Okay, this is box 2, volume 2, 007. Look at that. The Man with the Golden Gun, For Your Eyes Only, Moonraker, Spy Who Loved Me, Live or Let Die, and GoldenEye. GoldenEye is one of the better ones in here. It's just more nostalgic. It's funny, people have nostalgia towards this for the video game. I've never played the video game. I've actually seen this twice, and it's is just a fun, memorable Brosnan film. I think The World's Not Enough is also pretty underrated. I think they're all like stupid. This is the least of the stupid Brosnan ones. It's kind of a callback to Sean Connery ones. Let's read the description. The descriptions are always the most uninteresting way to start the film. I've never been interested by a Bond. It's the way to describe it. And before I forget, before I read it, I'm writing down I have to watch Crimson Peak and the Transformers films because I'm trying to watch all movies. It's really hard, guys, to see every movie. Film critics have a ton of credit due to them because they're able to see so many things and it's their job. They watch it. And it's like that's hard to just sit and watch a movie. I mean, obviously it's enjoyable, but to really take it in and have an experience watching it, that's something else. So, kudos to those film reviewers out there. I mean, every one of them. One of my favorites to watch is Mark Kermode, or Kermode. I just love listening to him and Simon Mayo. I could talk about that all day, so we're going to get on with it. I wrote down Crimson Peak and on my old Spanish card. Okay, so let's read the back of GoldenEye. Pierce Brosnan ignites the screen in his first adventure as the unstoppable James Bond when a powerful satellite system falls into the hands of a former ally turned enemy. Only 007 can save the world from an awesome space weapon that in one short pulse could destroy the Earth. That's not terrible. The one for the Living Daylights is so bad just because there's no way of making that film sound interesting. That's probably one of the most tedious Bond films, and I love Dalton. It stinks that he was in one that wasn't as fun. I think that, again, people just blame him for being kind of dramatic, but License to Kill is one of the better Bond films. It's so cool. Yeah, I love the grittiness of that. We're gonna get into that in a little bit, but this is fine. It's just kind of bland the way they describe it. There's no way of making it like so personable. Everything is such a cookie cutter chore. You know, these films are such a formula. They're basically the Avengers films before the Avengers. Just, you know what I'm saying. Oh, Live and Let Die. This is a good one. Let's read the description because this is probably one of the weirder ones. They go to New York for Harlem. There's like that weird car chase with the flip and the whistle. So we're going to read this. This is Roger Moore's first one. With charm, wit, and deadly assurance, Roger Moore steps in as the suave, sophisticated, and lethal Agent 007 in a thrilling, high-powered showdown with an infamous drug lord who's determined to eliminate Bond and conquer the world. They honestly made a more interesting film somehow sound boring. This isn't like one of the better Bond films. It's just they are able to make it sound boring, which is impressive on its own right. Okay. Here is this is one of my favorite boxes. I just realized it because it has this on the side. Connery. From Russia with Love poster. One of the cooler boxes. And you have Roger Moore. And he's on the other side too. Okay, so let's go through all these. Also, this is the one with the sweepstakes, so it's a really fun addition what we got here. Okay. You Only Live Twice. I have shown everyone this, and I think it's a really awesome cover. This is the one I got the double of. I know I mentioned this. So I have an extra one of this. I have an extra, I have an extra For Your Eyes Only, which is over here. And I have an extra, yeah, and I have an extra one of this, if I didn't already point that out. But yeah, it's a really cool cover, and this is also one of the most famous Bond films. Let's just read the description. When U.S. and Soviet manned spaceships are hijacked in Earth's orbit, Agent 007, Sean Connery, must race to prevent a nuclear war between the superpowers. His dangerous mission takes him to Japan, where he battles the evil Spectre organization and its diabolical leader, Ernst Trevor Blofeld, played by Donald Pleasance. It also comes with audio commentary, documentary. They give a whole title sequence and explaining how it's designed, how the storyboard sequence, and original theatrical trailers. That's cool. This is all very cool. We're going to see if the other ones come with theatrical trailers. I'm not going to make you sit through all these unboxings, but it's actually really fun to see just what they look like. Okay, because this is old. These are relics. They don't make these anymore. They don't make the VCRs anymore. And I will show you my Stanley Kubrick VHSs. Y'all just reminded me. That's very important. one of the better ones, and also one of the first ones I saw actually with the entire family. We all watched this, which is a total memory and a total blast. Robert Shaw is in this as the villain. Odd Job later got inspired by him. Totally Dave Bautista, Inspector, inspired by him. Um, yeah, this is a weird one. I remember they go like belly dancing, and there's a chase on a train. It is one of the more memorable Bond films. James Bond faces off against the evil Spectre organization in a pulse-pounding race to seize the Soviet Lecter decoding machine. His mission thrusts him into a thrilling boat chase, a brutal helicopter attack, and a deadly brawl aboard the Orient Express, proving once again that Agent 007 can't be stopped. Just the fact that they gave you three different types of chases and they explained it, that makes this one of the better descriptions because they're so bad at describing the films. They can never do it right or make it sound interesting. Here's one that I actually think everyone regards this as one of the worst or not as great Bond films, but I think it's cheesy and it's fun, and that is Diamonds Are Forever, which will definitely have one of the better descriptions. Everyone calls this like glitzy and stupid because it goes to Vegas and because there's Charles Gray as Blofeld. Charles Gray as Blofeld, Rocky Horror Picture Show, let's do the time warp again. It's just a step to the left. I should just play that clip for you. Anyway, Diamonds Are Forever. He makes the most of it. While investigating mysterious activities in the world diamond market, 007 discovers that his evil nemesis Blofeld is stockpiling the gems to use in a deadly laser satellite. Stockpiling the gems to use in his deadly laser satellite. That's 10 words, all very interesting. And I'm just saying that because all the other ones are so dumb. With the help of beautiful smuggler Tiffany Case, I'm already interested. Bond sets out to stop the madmen as the fate of the world hangs to the balance. All that fate of the world crap is not selling me. I mean, at this point, the world will never end in a Bond film. It's almost always going to be saved, and if it isn't, like, his girlfriend will die, and that is it. No one else will die. There are really very limited stakes in these films. Casino Royale, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and I mean, those are the two top exceptions because and Skyfall. The Craigs are so good. Okay, Living Daylights. Blast. Love this one. I know I just called it tedious, but I think it introduces Dalton as the really tough, gritty Bond. This is before Craig stepped in the role and made it his own. So there is such a difference here with the character. He just feels completely hard and cold, and it does actually make for a very interesting experience watching this film because he's hard and he's cold and he's tough. When he says Bond, James Bond, the way he says it is great. He goes Bond, James Bond, as if he's been through crap, which he has been. You don't just go onto a boat, where a woman's bathing and you go Bond, James Bond, darling. I mean, maybe if you've skydived and you're so chill and so confident, but this guy is chill, confident without having to put on the whole show. He's just tough. He was Craig before Craig. Now we'll read the description. Timothy Dalton is suave and lethal as Super Agent James Bond of this turbocharged action adventure that pulls out the stops for excitement. Armed with a gadget-laden Aston Martin and his license to kill, Agent 007 must stop a terrifying weapons conspiracy that may be linked to the Soviet military high command. Wow, how interesting. The turbocharged adventure that pulls for excitement, gadget-laden Aston Martin sounds a lot of fun, but the other stuff is just like, eh. This is actually a pretty good description for this movie. And this is a good movie. I'm gonna rewatch this. I'm very determined to rewatch this every single one of these movies and give you reviews. Oh, now we have the two worst ones put together in one fat, like, double package. Oh, and the sweepstakes. Then we're done. Okay. Octopussy and A View to a Kill. Let's do A View to a Kill first because it's just so memorable and not memorable. The image on the back is funny because it's one of the worst scenes of the film, one of the more memorable ones. The scene where he gets into bed with what's the woman's name? Grace Jones. Yeah. Grace Jones's role in this is good, but it is very weird when you see what she actually does in the movie. She has some really great stunt work though. Okay, Agent 007 races against time to stop a Power-mad industrialist who plots to kill millions in order to corner the world's microchip supply. From the Eiffel Tower to the top of the Golden Gate Bridge, James Bond can't be stopped. It's funny, the fact that they say kill millions in order to corner the world's microchip supply, it's such a weird, those are two very different sounding sentences, but it somehow works. It makes me interested. Yeah. I mean, this is a fun one. It's very ridiculous. It's one of the more ridiculous ones, but it's a lot of fun. And I seem to be having trouble closing the top of the case, which is really unsatisfying. This also has one of the better themes from any of the movies. I saw Kermode dissing the theme, and he was saying it's awful, can't hum it, can't sing it. Same with Jack White and Alicia Keys in Quantum of Solace, but this is a lot better. They're both very good songs that I think are the underrated songs. I think there are underrated Bond songs. Okay, View to a Kill is going back in. Also, just really cool cover art. I mean spine art. Look at that. With the Zodiac crosshairs. Pretty cool. But then you actually see the movie and you realize it's stupid. When Grace Jones says, "What a view," and then Christopher Walken butts in, "To a kill." It is cringy. Give Walken a good Bond film. He's so good. Give Malcolm McDowell, Joaquin Phoenix, give Leonardo DiCaprio a good Bond villain. Those guys would knock it out of the park. Okay, this is Octopussy, and he looks so weird on the cover. And it's funny because this is the one where he's the oldest, so he's totally airbrushed. I'm actually looking at this. It's hard to believe that is Roger Moore. It looks like, just doesn't look real. Anyway, they somehow make this crazy dumb movie sound like it's serious, and that's hilarious, because this is one of the dumber films, and it goes out so crazy and so off the rails, but it somehow ends up being described pretty normally. Watch this. James Bond, Roger Moore, may have met his match in Octopussy, Maud Adams, an entrancing beauty involved in a devastating military plot to destroy détentes, from the palaces of India to a speeding circus train in Germany, and a mid-air battle on the wing of a high-flying jet. Only Agent 007 can stop the nightmare scheme. They don't mention that he jumps through the jungle like Tarzan, and they don't mention that he dresses up like a clown in order to defuse a bomb. None of those are mentioned. It's funny because they actually show the special scenes. No clowning, eggs posed. The opening of this is so weird, because I'm actually remembering the Fabergé egg just falling. It's a clown dropping a Fabergé egg. Definitely one of the weirder ones, but also it's a lot of fun. Roger Moore saying, "Fill her up, please," and then was it a heart? There's like a circle going in on his eye. It's so cheesy and so corny, but it's very old, and it doesn't feel like something you would see in a movie now. So when I see that, I'm instantly reminded of the corny Bond films, and I cannot fault that. I cannot fault this dude, this 58-year-old, or however old Roger Moore was when he made this, riding up to a gas station and saying, "Fill her up, please," with that charming grin. Very charming man, in one of the best Bonds. He made it his own. He was very different from Sean Connery, but still very great in his own way. And with that, I think we've kind of gone through everything. I want to show you what it's showing for the special features, or just the scenes in general. Look at that. It's funny because you can't really see, but they're all like in the circle, like Octopussy. I don't know what that is, but usually, the scenes are like bricks. In this, they're circles, which is just something interesting. Okay, so that's it for this unboxing. When you can't get Octopussy back in. Trying to get the pussy in the box. Oh, we got it in. And now I'll just show you the bottom. United Artists, MGM. Got the barcode. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, wait, one more thing. Sweepstakes. Possibly the coolest thing about all of this is the sweepstakes. This will just tell you how old the DVD is. Okay, what does this say? We're going to read it out loud. Enter the 007 Sweepstakes and you could win incredible prizes. First prize, a Polaris snowmobile and riding gear. Polaris watercraft and riding gear. Oh, this is so stupid. It's actually not stupid. It's all James Bond stuff, which is the funny point. Polaris all-terrain vehicle and riding gear. 5 videos from MGM Entertainment was the fourth prize. Oh, and that's at $75. Well, everything else is about $9,000 to $6,000. So if you win the DVDs, that's not terrible. I would be the guy to win the DVDs. Employees of Sweepstakes. I'm reading the 007 official Sweepstakes rules. Employees of Sweepstakes entities defined below and their immediate families and members of the same households are ineligible. Sweepstakes begins at 10:17:1000 and ends at 11:59 on 1/16/01. Each day's Sweepstakes is defined by Pacific time. There is so much stuff I'm not going to read. So I guess you could just win that stuff. It's a lot. Oh my god, look at that. Got Pierce on the cover. I guess, yeah, because he was the Bond then in the 2000s. Early 2002. Die Another... Everyone was waiting on Die Another Day. Like, hey, I hope that movie's good. And then they saw it and they were like, oh no, he windsurfs off a tsunami. That CGI does not hold up today. And that's one of the most important parts about it. Oh, look at this. The PlayStation I never had. I grew up with the PlayStation 4. If you grew up with the PlayStation, good for you. I've seen one of my good friends has a PS3, so I'm very familiar with that, but I'm not sure if the controls differ at all. Anyway, everyone played on the N64. They played GoldenEye. That was really popular. I never was around for that. I love to play GoldenEye. I love to play a lot of old games, or just get the old consoles, just so you could experience it. Anyway, that's for another time. We could do a gaming session, because gaming is very fun. Well, that's it. Yeah, I think that's the whole collection. Oh, I just want to show License to Kill, because, like, why not? Why frickin' not? One of the better Bond films. Oh, and I told you they don't make this interesting. He takes his most daring adventure when he turns renegade and goes head-to-head with one of the most international drug cartel's most brutal and powerful leaders. This time he's fighting not for country, not for justice, but for revenge. Yeah. So, yeah, this is good. This is one of the better ones. It's like if they released Spectre back in 1989. This is what you would have gotten. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Well, tune in next time when we do some reviews. And remember, be safe.